The sun rose reluctantly over Mumbai, as if it, too, was tired from yesterday. The streets were already awake, buses rumbling, vendors shouting, a thousand dreams collating in the humid morning air. Among the steady chaws walked in Mahata, her backpack heavy with makeup brushes, palettes, and hope. Hope, that fragile, persistent thing she carried everywhere. The plastic handle of her makeup kit had worn out months ago, but she still held it like something sacred. Every shade, every brush inside it had been bought with sacrifice. Small savings, skipped meals, and birthday gifts turned into investments in her dream. In was 22, and Mumbai had already taught her that dreams here went free. She had come to the city with big eyes and a bigger heart. After finishing her beautician course, she'd imagined herself working in big studios, glossy magazine shoots, celebrity weddings, maybe even film sets. She used to picture her name being whispered behind the scenes and did the makeup for that campaign. But reality was rarely so cinematic. Her first job was in a small salon that promised hands-on experience and paid in exposure. Exposure, as she quickly learned, didn't pay rent. For months she worked long hours, touching up brides, washing brushes until midnight, standing on her feet until her legs trembled. She told herself it was temporary, that this was the foundation she needed. But temporary stretched into years. Every time she applied for something bigger, an assistant role, a fashion shoot, a film set, she'd get polite rejections. "We are looking for someone with more experience. We'll keep your portfolio for future projects. Sorry, positions are full." Some didn't reply at all. And yet, she never stopped showing up. On bad days, she sat on her small balcony with a cup of lukewarm chai, staring at the sea far away and wondering if anyone even saw her efforts. Her friends had moved on to stable jobs. Bank clerks, teachers, nurses, while she still carried her brushes like a prayer. Sometimes her father would sigh at the dinner table, not in anger but in worry. "You work so hard, Beta, but how long will this go on?" In would smile softly. "Just a little longer, Papa." Her mother never said much. She simply packed her lunch every morning and whispered, "Eat properly, okay? You forget when you get busy." Those words were the only thing that kept her from breaking some days. In her tiny rented room, the walls were covered with photos she'd printed from the internet, and fashion looks, editorial, makeup styles, backstage pictures of concert. Between them was a small poster of Jungkook, the K-pop idol whose music had once found her in the dark. She didn't understand the lyrics at first, but the emotions was clear. The lead singer, Jungkook, had a voice that felt like both comfort and ache. It was strange how someone so far away could feel like he understood her loneliness better than anyone around her. Whenever a rejection email came, she'd put on her earphones and listen to his song Dreamers on repeat, not because it was famous, but because it reminded her of something she often forgot, that dreams only come true when you believe in yourself. The song told her that she wasn't alone, that even if her journey was slow, she was still moving forward. Every time Jungkook sang "We Make It Happen," she felt a little braver, a little more hopeful. And eventually Dreamers became the soundtrack of her life, a song that whispered courage when she doubted herself, and told her that her dreams were worth fighting for even on the days she didn't feel strong enough. The song taught her that everyone who dreams goes through struggles, but those who keep going eventually shine. It became her reminder that her story wasn't over yet. Then came the day everything changed. She was leaving a failed interview, another pillow smile from a coordinator who said, "We'll call you." The sky had turned heavy, clouds bruised with rain. As she hurried toward the bus stop, her phone buzzed. A number she didn't recognize. "Hello, is this in Mihata?" Her voice trembled. "Yes, this is Kirai's production. You applied for a makeup assistant position months ago. We are selecting candidates for an international collaboration concert. The team liked your profile. Can you come tomorrow for a final meeting?" Stopped in her tracks. The sound of traffic faded. All she could hear was her heartbeat. International. Collaboration. She barely slept that night. The next day, she reached the studio half an hour early, clutching her portfolio like a lifeline. The waiting area smelled of coffee and nerves. Around her, other applicants sat with perfect hair and confidence that made her feet small. When her turn came, she stepped into a glass-walled office where two coordinators sat behind laptops. They asked about her work, her inspirations, her ability to travel. "You have worked mostly in salons," one of them asked. She nodded. "Yes, but I've also done freelance bridal and editorial shoots. I'm good with long hours and I adapt fast. I just need one real chance." They exchanged a glance, then the older woman smiled slightly. "We'll keep that in mind, Miss Mehta. Thank you." It sounded polite, final, like a door closing again. She walked out, her chest tight, her dreams feeling heavier than her kit. But 2 nights later, as she was removing her makeup under the yellowed light of her mirror, her phone buzzed again. "Congratulations, you've been selected as a makeup assistant for the upcoming Jungkook's World Tour concert in Seoul. Please check your email for travel arrangements." In froze. The foundation brush slipped from her fingers and rolled under the table. Jungkook, Seoul. Her knees went weak. She pressed a hand over her mouth, afraid she might scream and wake the neighbors. For years she had imagined a single opportunity, something that would finally prove she wasn't foolish to dream. And here it was. She sank to the floor, tears stinging her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, to no one in particular. Maybe to the universe. Maybe to the songs that had carried her through nights of doubt. The following days were a blur of preparation. She spent hours researching Korean culture, makeup trends, even backstage protocol. She practiced Korean phrases late into the night, writing them on sticky notes and pasting them around her mirror. "Annyeonghaseyo, Joseonhamnida, Gamsahamnida." Her accent was clumsy, but her determination wasn't. She even started watching interviews of Jungkook, though she tried to tell herself it wasn't because of Jungkook. On the morning of her flight, Mumbai looked softer than usual. The city that had tested her now seemed to bless her goodby. Her parents stood beside her at the airport gate. Her mother hugged her tightly. "Make us proud, okay?" Her father just placed his hand on her head, quiet, proud, a little teary-eyed. As she walked towards security, she looked back once. The crowd blurred, but she could see their faces. "Thank you," she whispered again. Then she turned forward, toward the unknown. When the plane lifted off, the city's golden lights melted into darkness below. Stared out of the window, her reflection overlapping the stars outside. For the first time, she wasn't just dreaming of another life, she was flying into it. Little did she know that life would bring her face to face with the man whose songs once healed her. And behind those stage light, she'd discover that fame shines brightest only when someone dares to look into its shadows.